The Calgary Police Service Sex Crimes Unit is currently investigating the possibility of a violent sexual assault taking place in the community of Sunnyside. The victim was located inside a residence when the Calgary Police Service were called to a building fire at the 800 block of 9A Street Northwest on Thursday, October 3rd, 2013. The victim was observed at that time to have trauma and bruising to her face. She was transported to the hospital with second and third degree burns and has since been released. Investigators are currently following leads from potential witnesses to this incident, and a suspect has been identified with regards to the crime. Police will be speaking with him. However, no charges have been laid at this time. This is not considered a random incident of violence, and anyone with information about this case is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 403-266-1234 or Crime Stoppers DIPS.
Is it considered domestic?
This is not a considered domestic situation.
But it's not random either?
This is not a random act.
Can you elaborate a little bit on what possible relationship any offender might have to victim?
Yeah, this is we would call this a casual relationship. Somewhere where the victim knew this suspect for a very short period of time.
Are you looking into the possibility of the fire being connected to sexual assault at all?
We are currently working with arson investigators as well, and we're trying to determine timing with regards to this offense.
When you say no in a short time, or is it kind of a bar thing? They met in a bar, or casually?
We are currently investigating the nature of the relationship. Once again, at this time, we believe it's a casual relationship of some sorts, and didn't amount to more than a couple days.
The fire happened earlier this month, but was it always known that potentially could have been a sexual assault, or did something change during the course of the last few weeks?
Yeah, initially when we responded to this occurrence, our primary focus was preservation of life along with the fire department. Once the victim was considered stable, we started our investigation into the possibility of a violent sexual offense, and obviously we were notified of that due to the extent of the injuries received on the victim.
How old is the victim?
I don't have the exact age, but I believe the victim is a female in her 50s.
And was she somehow restrained or unable to leave the suite?
At this time,
Was she somehow incapacitated either by drugs or some sort of restraint?
we're still looking into all possibilities with regards to the arson and her being found inside the building at the time of the fire.
Was she in an apartment suite, and was it her home?
It was a basement suite, and it was her. She was the primary resident there.
At the time we were told her injuries were quite severe. We were hearing life-threatening, critical injuries. Were her injuries that severe? She's been released now?
Yes, she suffered severe injuries, smoke inhalation. She had to be flown to Edmonton to treat the lung injuries that she sustained, as well as the fire-related injuries. Like I say, the sex crimes team is currently investigating the possibility of a serious sexual assault with regards to violence.
It's a pretty extreme attack from what you're describing. This person that you're looking at, does he have any prior history that you're aware of?
This is, like I say, just a suspect that we have in mind due to the investigation that we've conducted over the past 3 weeks. I can't comment on his history, if there was any or if there weren't any. I'm not exactly sure. We do know, like I say, where the suspect is, and police are currently speaking with him now.
Does it raise any flags for any outstanding cases then that maybe follow a similar pattern?
We're always looking into the possibility of similar fact occurrences, but in this case, we don't believe that there are any.
Just for the limited information you give, it doesn't sound like somebody woke up one day and decided this was going to be the first offense. It's a pretty awful thing to do.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing to do, and like I say, when we're talking about our victim has been through a life-changing event, a serious traumatic incident, and we have our victim in touch with the proper social services, our partner agencies, such as CASA and our VAST unit, to try and mitigate some of the issues that she might be facing right now.
Do you believe that any weapons were used in the assault?
That's something that we have to determine through our future investigation on this. At this time, we don't have any of that information.
Does the victim have much recollection of what happened to her prior to her being found in the suite?
We've interviewed the victim a couple of different occasions, and we've received information which has led us to a possible suspect.
And so does she have a lot of recollection of what all happened in maybe the 2 hours prior to her being found in critical condition in the apartment?
Once again, I can't really talk to exactly what was said by the victim. All I can do say is that the victim provided information that allowed us to continue in this investigation as a criminal type assault.
Sorry, I'm not sure if you said already, but why haven't charges been laid?
Charges haven't been laid because we don't have the evidence to lay the charges at this time.
Is this man cooperating? You said he's currently speaking with investigators. Is he cooperative thus far? Or he agreed to speak?
I can't comment on the level of cooperation with the suspect. What I can say as well with regards to the lack of charges being laid, this is a very complex case dealing with multiple units as well as complex evidence such as DNA collection and forensics, and a lot of that takes a lot of time for us to receive validation from the lab. So we are working on this file, and hopefully we'll get those answers soon.
The other people living in the house, will they have any assistance to identifying any possible people that might have come wrong?
I can't comment on who can identify who. What I can say is that one of the people in the house called 911 because of noticing flames inside, so that was a very good thing to do.
And the flames were specifically in that suite?
Yes.
Where was, if you can answer this, where was the woman found within the suite?
That's makes up part of the investigation, and hopefully we can be able to illustrate that in the future once we know more.
And were her injuries serious enough initially that homicide was sort of put on call or anything like that? Stand by, were they contacted?
No, initially the sex crimes unit was called out due to the evidence relating to some of the medical reports at the hospital. Other than that, we always have homicide on standby should the victim be that close to death. In this case, luckily, the victim pulled through due to the injuries, which are significant from smoke inhalation in any type of incident like that.
So initially there was some concern that she might not pull through. Was that serious?
Yes, absolutely.
This might be splitting hairs right now, but we keep classifying it as a potential attack. I guess what's the reason for that? Could clarify what it is?
Yeah, when I talk about potential attack and allegations of attack, what I'm really talking about is we believe that this happened. We still have to provide the courts with the evidence that it did happen, and these are things that we are working towards, and we've had a lot of different avenues to follow, and that's primarily why now we are coming to the media, coming to bring this to the public's knowledge so that hopefully we can generate some more information with regards to this case.
Why did it take this amount of time to go to the public? Why did you wait?
It's another one of those things where what we do is we weigh the options, and number one is obviously the victim's safety. So once the victim was deemed safe and able to function without being downgraded from critical, we start the investigation. Once we do the investigation, we make sure that the public is safe as well. So the victim, then the public, and we identified a suspect early. But in order to have enough evidence, we have to really follow up all of those leads. This is one thing that we believe in the sex crimes unit we need to now go to the public for assistance.
Can you just say roughly how long it was before the victim was in a position to talk to police? Was it several days?
We spoke to the victim the day after for the first time.
Okay, is that all? Sorry, when did you find the suspect? How long have you had the suspect in for questioning?
We're actually speaking with the suspect now. This is the first time that we've spoken to the suspect. and that's all I can say about that,
Now, as in like right now?
as in right now.
He's sitting in a room someplace chatting?
The investigators are with him right now.
At the risk of being repetitive, I just want to clarify 3 things. So police aren't saying, confirming or denying whether this woman was somehow restrained either chemically or physically in this suite. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you had, and police believe or think it might be possible that this fire was set. Do you believe it was a set fire? Is that?
This was a man-made fire, yes.
Okay. And then the last thing is you said that these, the two, the possible suspect and the victim had only met over maybe a couple of days. Are those dates? Was it, were they dating or had they gone on dates?
I don't believe that this was a domestic relationship at all.
Okay, so it
They
wasn't
knew
a
each
date.
other?
Yeah.
They knew of each
They knew of each other for a very short period of time.
Was he hired to do work for her or something?
This is something that we have to learn through our investigation, and we don't know all the answers yet, so
But you're saying it
it would be
wasn't a
premature to
dating
talk.
situation?
It was not a dating situation.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.